The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local.
The Eden Center is a private psychiatry practice that focuses on the root cause of mental health conditions. We believe in brain-based treatment that incorporates the tenets of good mental health: nutrition, sleep, mindfulness, exercise, and social interactions. Whether you need help with mental health, addiction and recovery, or general wellness, the Eden Care Center can help shape you into your best you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Buying Local. I'm your host, Mike Nelson, joined today by Stephanie Poulin with Happy Brands Co. Hi, Steph.
Hello, Mike. Thank you for having me.
What are you drinking? What is that?
This is called Bear Maple, and it's actually a new beverage that just hit the market. It is a non-caffeine, non-alcoholic, like spritzer seltzer,
Ooh.
but it has ginseng in it, so it mimics the same effects as caffeine without it. And there's 1 gram of sugar, and it's sweetened by maple water. So this is actually one of my clients. They're amazing.
Oh, it is? Oh, this just turned into a commercial. Nice.
Yeah, this is a commercial basically. Yeah, no, it's actually so good though, and I'm obsessed with it. So I'm their ideal clientele.
Yeah. So Stephanie, just to kind of introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Stephanie. I am the owner and founder of Happy Brands Co. We are a social media marketing agency local to Saratoga area, but we have clients nationwide, all over the country. And we've actually worked internationally in Europe with a couple clients as well. But yeah, what I basically do is I get paid to make reels for a living. I basically make social media content for brands, really small startup, like small brands, all the way to some larger companies. And we have some corporate clients. We work in a variety of sectors, but we really assist in creating the social media content to share their services, educate, whatever that may be. We do a whole kind of gamut of that.
Very nice. I know that's a big stumbling block for a lot of businesses.
It's the time. It's the time. I mean, people are trying to actually have a business and make sales and do what their business is, but how are they going to promote it? The number one advertising tool now is social media: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. That's where you advertise now. And so how much time do you spend on it? And so many clients just don't have the time. And a lot of them really don't have the money for a large agency. So I really do cater to kind of that small business startup sector where my rates and fees are very reasonable and make sense for me and my business, but they're not the large agencies where a lot of these startups, like, I need help, but I can't afford that. But I also don't want someone who really doesn't have any experience in marketing handling this. So I really take a lot of the burden off of their plate so I can just handle it, manage it, respond to people, put promotions out there for them. And we really are collaboratively working together on different marketing campaigns, promotions, and stuff that they're trying to do, and really be their partner.
Yeah, that's fun. And I know one of the things that we want to talk about today and really kind of focus in on is going to be that influencer marketing side. I know a lot of people have questions about it, about how it works and who, and I know that, you would probably actually know better than I would, but, just kind of how that whole influencer market is really segmented a lot where, you think influencer and like, oh, Kim Kardashian, but then it's like, it's not so much talking about the Kim Kardashians of the world, but getting into do they still call it micro influencers or what?
Yep. So you have different layers. You have like your micro influencers and macro, and then you have like the mega whale ones, which would be like the Kim Kardashian. So and these kind of variations depend on the organization. Like some might consider this a different metric. Like for us and for me, anyone from like 1,000 to 10,000 followers is generally in that micro influencer, even sometimes 20,000 followers. Where an agency might say anyone under 500,000 is micro to them. But I would say anyone between 1,000 and 20,000 followers is kind of in that micro space. And then you have like your macro influencers, anyone over 20,000, usually to like 500,000. And then you're going to get into, 500 to the millions. That's kind of the mega ones. And it really depends too. Like, I love talking about influencer marketing because I think everyone thinks, oh, if I have someone who has 50,000 followers post something for me once, I'm going to get all this business. And that's just not how it works anymore.
Right.
Consumers are smarter now, and they know when they're being fooled by an advertisement, where you're better off running an actual campaign. And really what that means is, instead of a one-time post, you're now hiring someone, an influencer or a UGC creator, to essentially create a few different batches of content. So maybe that's 3 reels or 4 reels are going to go over a course of a month and a half. Now you're actually creating some dialogue around it. And ideally, the most organic and authentic way to do it is have someone that you bring on that actually is like either a customer of yours, someone who uses your products, or has the same type of mentality and kind of I would say vision. So like someone who is a health creator, someone who is a fitness influencer, talks about health, she goes for runs, she makes healthy meals. Okay, now I have this brand that is a health drink product, like Bare Maple is a great example. They would then look to this person and say, okay, she's already living the lifestyle that we are kind of promoting, and this is how we live, and this is the ideal customer. She is a really good example of someone we would want to bring on because it's authentic. Versus, we've had people that reach out to the brand that are like, oh, we just do, they do like open box openings, and they, unboxing videos, but they have no like actual tie to like the lifestyle of it. They're doing it for fast food brands, health brands, they're doing it for everything. And that's very confusing for a consumer, because people now go to social media for education. They look at it like, okay, if she's drinking it and she lives a healthy lifestyle, she's probably already done her research that this is a healthy drink to have. And so now I'm going to think, okay, if she's drinking it, then I want to drink it, versus someone who's very confusing in their messaging, where they're eating fast food, they're eating processed food, but then they're doing this and they're really just chasing the money, which is really not ideal for any brand to use.
Now, does that, because that can, I think you said it confuses the viewer, or?
Yeah, it confuses the viewer. And honestly, a lot of brands just don't want, you're essentially hiring someone to be a brand representation of who you are as a company. So if you are promoting and you are all about healthy living, healthy lifestyle brand, and you go and hire someone who does not live that in their real life, one, your customers are going to see that you're just hiring someone because they have followers and they're not actually a customer. So you're not being authentic. People can see that a mile away now on social media, because everyone advertises now. I mean, you look at any influencer, famous person, semi-famous, they all are doing ads on things that they use, and hopefully they are actually customers. But a lot of times people are like, okay, you're just doing this because you're getting paid $50,000 to do this video and you actually aren't a user of it. It just puts kind of a bad taste in people's mouth, because they feel like they can't trust you for actually promoting something to buy. And so for a brand, you just want to make sure that whoever you bring on to promote your business is actually that. Like, another example that's very controversial, it's like, if you are let's just say a very controversial topic right now, you are a conservative, maybe like Christian brand, and now you're going to go hire someone who is on OnlyFans and lives a very different lifestyle than that. And no hate, no shame to any of that.
No, I got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have very two polarizing views and styles. That's very confusing. And then now the consumer is going to look to the brand and be like, you're not authentic. You're not actually who you say you are. You're just trying to sell me something. People can sniff that out, and that can destroy a brand overnight. So it's just, you have to be thoughtful about who you actually hire on for that type of stuff.
So is like, when you're working with companies and helping them find influencers, how do you to represent the brand. How do you vet them? Like how do you,
Yeah.
is there a process for that or?
Yeah, no, there absolutely is. So there's a few different ways you can do this, but generally what we do is we look at all of their social media profiles. So we have someone that applies, we look at every single social channel they're on. We also get references from them, and then we look at, okay, like do an interview or some type of video call and really dig into like who they are, like what do they like to do. I don't even talk about the brand first and foremost. I usually always interview people because I work with so many different companies and brands. They might not be a fit for this one, but they might be a fit for something else. So I really try to get to know the person and like, what do you like to do? Like, who are you as a person? What are you doing for work? Like, some of them are full-time students and they're doing
Mhm.
this for extra money. Some people are full-time creators and others are bankers by day and then they're influencers by night. So it's important to really understand who they are. And I think that also allows me to kind of suss out like authentically who they are and what they do for their hobbies and living. You can kind of understand what type of personality they are that could fit one of these clients. But yeah, it's nothing rigorous. I don't go through like like create like background checks or anything, but we really just, if someone applies and they don't show their social media profile, like I've had someone apply and they wrote me a great email, their resume looked great, they said all the right things. And then I go to their social media profile and then I'm like, oof, not a fit because of what they're showing. And they were very, very, very controversial and saying a lot of stuff that is very, very big right now, but for the specific client, they would not want to have as their brand representation.
Yeah.
Some people are really open about that stuff, and other people like to kind of take a back seat in marketing. It can be the reason you blow up and you get mega famous and viral, and then it also can ruin your brand and you literally can lose everything. So you have to be really mindful and thoughtful about who you bring on. And that's why I think influencer marketing to a lot of people is scary because they don't really know what to do, who to find, what goes on. Like you
Yeah.
really have to, I think, first identify like what are you as a brand or a company, and like who is your ideal customer. You have to really understand kind of the avatar of the company. What are your morals? What do you guys stand for? What are your value systems? Whatever that may be. Who is like the ideal customer that you want to attract? And now you can back into finding an influencer or a creator that kind of mimics that and shapes that. So then now when you're putting it out there, you're already like targeting whoever that is. Because now those people are going to look to that person and be like, I'm like her. I want to do what she's doing. I want to buy what she's showing, or she's making this really cool meal and using this new whatever. Now I want to do that. It's really all psychology and what people are going to see. So you just have to be really mindful, and it can get very granular very fast, which is why I have a job because this is what
Yeah.
I specialize in and this is what I do. And I kind of take that headache away from the client to really help them decide.
So now you brought up like some of the controversial stuff. It is, isn't there a saying like no one got rich playing the middle or something along those lines? There's like a saying along those lines, right?
Yeah, I think it's I want to say it's a Marilyn Monroe quote. It's like, or
Right?
someone, it's like a um yeah, no one got seen with by being boring or whatever, which
Yeah.
for sure there is a time and place for everything. Like I have a client who's a real estate influencer. She is an investor. She does real estate projects and flips, and she does a lot of educational stuff, but she has a really fun personality. And so we really hone into that. And people on the internet are trolls and so mean to her about a lot of the projects she works on. So she's like, fuck it. I'm gonna literally make a video showing all of the comments people are saying and like debunk them a little bit. And we did that. And the video went so viral because she was clapping back at them. And I was like, that's the perfect time for you to show your personality, have a lot of fun with it, and don't take yourself too seriously because everyone's so sensitive on the internet now. And a lot of it, it's like, take it for what it is. Everyone's going to have
Yeah.
an opinion. Not everyone's gonna like you. And that is okay. As long as you are true to who you are and true to what you love and you know like what you're bringing to the table. We all make mistakes too, and sometimes say something maybe we shouldn't have, or maybe it came out wrong, whatever. But I think it's important that you're really thoughtful about how controversial you go. Like, and then I have friends who talk a lot about politics, and you have to be very, very mindful about that, because politics and the political landscape now, you not only have the issue of people disagreeing with you and now hating your brand because you have different point of views, whatever. Then you also have the political side of social media, where these companies like Meta and all these other companies, they all have their own political agenda as well. And so
Yeah.
they can blacklist you or shadow ban you, as they say, if you're talking too controversial or you're saying stuff that's either offensive or maybe isn't in line with their views. I think people don't realize that enough, that it's not just your customers, it's Big Brother, it's everyone's really watching you. And so you
Well,
have
yeah,
to
they're
be,
gonna like de-amplify your posts and stuff, right?
for
I'd
sure.
imagine.
Yeah, you're gonna go down the algorithm. They're like, nope, we're not gonna share this. We don't want people seeing that. And that's why some of those controversial pages do so well, because they are heavy hitting and they are, debunking like the processed food system or whatever they're really talking about. And there's a lot of political ties to that. So
That's my whole social media feed, by the way, is the people that are tearing apart the food system right now.
you know what, I'm all about it. I'm a very clean eater. I grew up on a farm, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like, I think everyone at some point consumes some type of processed food. That's just pretty normal in today's society. But as we know, processed food is becoming a very hot topic given the
Yeah.
landscape, and eating clean is very trendy and very in, which I'm not upset about that, because I think it's really important that we do. But yeah, no, the social media is like literally five jobs in one, because you are figuring out all these nuances like politics, religion, the all this shit that's going online right now that's
Yeah.
blowing up, that's also very controversial and damaging at times too for brands. And then you also have what's trending and what's fun and what's this. And like, I really, as a company and brand owner, hence my name, Happy Brands, I go into all of this with like a really positive like thought process. And I'm like, you can have a great brand and do great marketing, and you don't have to tear anyone down, and you don't have
Right.
to tear down someone else's beliefs or value system. You don't need to do that. Are everyone entitled to their own opinion? Absolutely. Are they entitled to share that if they want to? Sure. But I think there's also a really fine line that a lot of companies I have to kind of educate on, that like, just because they believe something completely different or they're doing something you really disagree with doesn't mean you need to talk about it. Like, if you really want to and you want to share that and kind of share the polarizing differences, for sure. But I'm really in the business of making brands happy, making them see that there's a lot of value that they have on their own, and there's enough room and pieces of the pie for everyone to be here. That's just how I think, and some people think that's naive, but I don't really care because I'm happy and my clients are happy. And I just really think like the abundance mindset is most important, and that's really what takes brands off. The brands that really focus on the negative um really don't have a long track record from what I've seen.
Yeah. What I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are asking the question about whether or not, having an influencer marketing strategy is going to be for them.
Yeah.
How do you, if someone's listening or watching and they're asking that question, like what would you tell someone to kind of help them self-assess whether or not they should be using an influencer?
Yeah, so I think every single client business brand should use an influencer marketing strategy. It is the way to sell, because what is really true right now more than ever is that people don't follow I mean, they follow brands on social media, but they really aren't looking to the brands. They're looking to the people that use the brands. So a customer that uses that, item, that moisturizer, whatever it is, they're looking to someone like them that they can connect to and relate to and maybe have a similar lifestyle, and be like, oh wait, I want to use that. She has like flawless skin. I want to use that moisturizer. That's probably why her skin's so, that's what people think. And so versus a brand telling you, oh, this is the greatest thing in the whole world, every brand's going to say that. Every company is going to say that about themselves. But when you have an influencer or They call them UGC, so user generated content creators. Those are maybe not influencers, but people that are recording videos on your behalf. They're making content on your behalf, talking about the brand that then you can promote on your own pages. Those are the people that are real life users, that are real life people sharing their experiences, which is ideal. That's what you want. You don't want someone just making up something, but they're the
Right.
ones that are going to get someone to buy the actual product. And so how much you want to spend or do in the influencer space really depends on your budget and your comfortability in this. But every single company, a dentist office, because you could use an influencer marketing program, a car dealership, a clothing line, obviously, I think we all know everyone basically online who has a like clothing line or any type of like beauty lines. Those are the perfect ones because you just makeup, get ready with me, let me show my makeup, let me show you my routine, whatever that is. But yeah, I think there's a two big difference between influencer marketing and UGC. So influencer marketing is generally someone that you hire that from a micro to the mega level of influencer that you hire to make a bunch of content on, maybe you send them a bunch of bare maple and they're gonna make cocktails at home or something, or they're gonna go to the pool or go to a workout and show them drinking it. Like they are using it and they're going to promote it and they're going to put it on their social media channel. So it's going to target all of their audience on your behalf that you'll be tagged in. So now it really feels like this is like a commercial that this influencer is creating on your behalf, which is great. So you're tapping into a whole other demographic and customer base. Now UGC is great because that is when you maybe hire someone, and this is usually like it can be really low level pricing, so you could hire someone for really, really cheap or free and just say, hey, I'm going to give you a bunch of free product. Can you make 2 or 3 videos? You'll get the product for free, and then we'll give you $50 or $100 or an affiliate marketing link that you can put into your Instagram channel. And now they're going to create videos that they give back to you now that you can put on your channel and tag them in. So it's kind of like the opposite. And that allows people like kind of low barrier to entry. It allows a lot of brands to get into the influencer space without going harder on hiring someone. The spend on influencer marketing can be insanely expensive if you're not careful. And the ROI isn't always there. So I always say like micro influencers are your best ROI generally, other than if you have Kim Kardashian. But so everyone knows, to hire Kim Kardashian, it's usually $1 to $2 million a post for one post. That being said, her ROI is massive because she has, 500 million followers on Instagram. Almost you're going to get sales from that.
Even if she converts 1% of those people into customers.
Even if it's 1%, you're still going to be getting an ROI.
Yeah.
That being said, most brands and companies don't have that type of money to spend on a celebrity. So they look to micro influencers. The micro ones are great because you have usually better engagement. They're usually the ones that are really engaged with their customers. They are sharing pretty often. And how you test engagement is you look at the comment section. You look at, all right, how many comments are they getting versus likes? Like, what does that actually look like? Like, I've seen someone who has 50,000 followers and they get 2 comments on a post and like 50 likes. I'm like, okay, in my head, they probably bought followers. They're probably not organic and they're not actually having a really engaged audience. Versus I had a girl who had 5,000 followers and she had like 100 comments on every single post. She had like hundreds of likes. She was super engaged. She replied to everyone. That I would spend money on all day over 50,000 followers, because now I know that we're going to get engagement, which could mean sales from promoting it. It could help promote brand awareness for this company. You're going to be getting more lenses and more activity, and spending less generally too.
So, and how do you handle things like with maybe a newer business or just someone that doesn't really have a large following? They got like 100, 150 followers. Like, does it still make sense, or how do you handle those situations?
Yeah, no, oh, totally. Yeah, so I always say, I mean, it takes a while to build a following. You can, of course, buy followers, but it's going to generally tank your algorithm, and like how you perform on Instagram or social media. It generally doesn't bode very well. If you're going to do anything, I would say find some UGC creators that can create a bunch of content for you, and they can tag you or they can post it on their social. Be extremely intentional about being active and engaging every single day on your social channels. It's going to grow. And then maybe you have a video that, like, you have 100 followers and you get a video that got like 1,000 views. To a small following like that, that's a really good view percentage. So I would say maybe invest in $100 in some, boosting, and boost it and do some advertising. Ads on Facebook and Instagram can do very, very well if you have them set up like properly. I have a client that she's been getting like almost 50 followers a week just from a paid campaign we're running on top of our already organic engagement plan. So this probably sounds like gibberish to a lot of people, but it really is something that you can totally do with 100 followers, with 1,000 followers. It does not matter. It's just all about, like, what is your end goal? What are you trying to accomplish on social media? Because some people don't care. They're like, I don't need to get sales. I just want to have a presence. Okay, great. Then if you don't care, then maybe we do a little bit of ad campaign. If you wanted to buy some followers, I guess you could. I would never recommend that to anyone unless a client really was like, I want to get to 5,000 followers like in a month and a half. I'm like, the only way to do that is through usually a paid campaign and or buying them. But if you're doing organic and paid and you buy followers, I mean, you are increasing the visibility no matter what. So there is kind of a perfect system to that. But I would say in general, it's just doing organic engagement every single day, which means commenting on posts, following people that are in the same space you're in, engaging on their posts, and or being a thought leader and talking about different, important topics in your industry and posting about it, every day. Like, that is all stuff that you just continually need to do. And eventually you'll check in 6 months to a year, your following is built. You have maybe a fan base of loyal people who are waiting to hear from you and what you're trying to say, or maybe it's a customer that really, really loves you and wants to support you and shares all your posts of their stories. Whatever that is, you can make it happen with nothing. You can start from scratch for sure.
Oh, that's a lot. I'm just thinking about everything you just said here.
No, my gosh, I just threw so much at you. And I also realized too, like, I do this all day, every day, and it can be so confusing for a new company or brand or just a person trying to start a social media channel. They're like, where the hell do I go? Where do I start? And I always say, if you have no idea about social media, hiring someone like me or like a small agency to kind of guide you. I have a client right now. I actually just started offering this new service for small clients who really can't afford my true services. And because my services aren't the cheapest, they're not the most expensive, they're kind of in the middle of the road, but it still can be a lot for a small company. And so I offered this where I do like a 3-month kind of trial period where they get a reduced rate and pay. I basically create all their templates for them. We, go through, if they already have a style guide, which includes like their colors, their logo, etc. If they don't, I'll help create one. And then what I'll do is I'll put together like a content pillar and like a strategy plan for their whole team. And then I will actually train for like 1 or 2 hours with one of their team members and say, this is what you do. This is how you kind of plan your content. This is how you can kind of structure it. So now, after the 3 months, they've seen how we work, we've trained them, and now they can go with their company and just run with it. And now they have a plan. Their team has a better idea and understanding of how to actually run their social media channel. And now they're not like going into the dark and being like, hey, I'm posting once a week on here and I don't know what to do. I've been doing this for a year and I'm not getting anything. I'm like, well, yeah, because you have no strategy. You're not targeting your audience. You don't have a strategy. You're posting too infrequently. The inconsistency part of social media is the biggest challenge I see with clients. But that's something I just started offering because it does help. I think not every client, and I'm aware of this, not every client's going to stay with me forever. And that's just normal. And I think that's okay. Like, I prefer that. Sometimes it works out great where, hey, we do 3 months, you pay this fee, I train you, I train your team, I give you guys all the templates, I give you like a really good structure, and now here you go. On to the next. And it works out really well because now they feel like, all right, they had an expert guide them, they have a plan, now they can run with it. How many clients end up coming back and wanting me to just do it? Many, because we do a really good job and we love it and we make it really easy, but we've been doing this for a long time now. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. So it allows me to do my job very efficiently and well, where it can be a lot for a new company and business and for anyone who's not socially adept to like social media. It can be a lot.
So what, how about from a channel standpoint? So like which platform would you suggest for people? Like how do you tell people like, hey, if you're going to do one platform, start here, or do you say do all of them, or what's your advice there?
Yeah, so it all depends on their target audience, really. That's really what I look at first. Like, who is your target audience? Like, if you are targeting, you know, females age 30 to 55, Facebook for sure. Instagram and probably TikTok. Those would be like my top three. If you are, hey, we are a corporate business and we want to, you know, connect with more corporations and other businesses, LinkedIn. That's a very business heavy platform. If you're looking for a job, that's where LinkedIn is. If you are an educational system, a school, a medical, Twitter and X is still really big for that because that's where a lot of educational platforms put out their publications on for people to read. People think Twitter or X is dead, and it is absolutely not. It's still very, very big in the educational sector. And I work with a lot of clients in hospitality, and they still post on Twitter as well. I'm not a user of Twitter. I haven't been in a long time, but I know it really, really well. And I do a lot of my own kind of secondary education, so I can give my clients the best advice on that. Because I'm not really, I mean, to me, Twitter is like dead for like my own life. Like I have no need to use a Twitter, but there's so many people that do, and so many celebrities still use it. It's very much like a one hit, like little quote or sentence that you can do. But yeah, it all depends on what they want to do. And if they were like, Steph, I don't know where to start, what are your recommendations? I say, you know, Instagram for most brands and companies is a really good place to start. It's very easy to get started. It's free to create an account. I mean, all these platforms are free unless you buy the blue check mark, which is like $14.99 a month. It's not really worth it unless you want to take it. There is a lot of additional tools that you get when you buy the check mark, but most people do it just to like look like they're a real business or account, which is official. Fine. Yeah, it makes them look really official, which is totally fine. I don't knock them for that. If they want to do it, great. If they don't, whatever. But yeah, I look at the target audience first, and then we kind of back into it of like, based on your target audience and what we know to do this. But I would say like the main ones that almost all my clients are on are Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are like the really top three that perform best for us. Facebook is definitely a interesting one because it can do really, really well for some of my clients, and other clients, it's like crickets. There's nothing there. And that's just because we're not talking to the right people. And we're always trying to figure out like, okay, what we're saying and what your brand is trying to relay, it's just not hitting on Facebook. And Facebook also takes a lot more energy of engagement on their advertising. That's where clients pages do really well, is when they invest in all of that. But if you are just posting on Facebook, you might not grow at all. You have to go into it with a much deeper strategy than that.
So many things.
No, I don't even know how I do this all day, every day. Some days I'm like, oh yeah, there's like 700 different thoughts going on at all times because social media changes.
It changes so quick. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so many agencies, like you and I've talked about this, people are like, how are you doing just social media? Like, why wouldn't you do web development or whatever else, like advertising? We do some advertising. But I love social media and I love making content and I love making reels that tell a story. And no matter what, if the objective is to make sales or just to have brand awareness, we can do that. And we're really good at it. And we know how to make the strategy. And it's something where you can expand and you can build into other areas in your business and brand, and you evolve, and maybe that will change one day for us. But I'm like, we are one of the only agencies that just really heavy hits and focuses on social media, which then makes us experts because that's all we do all day. We're in it all day. We're looking at trends all day. I literally have a girl, all she does is watch TikTok trends and then reports to us like, why was this trending? What happened here? What industry? How can we then transfer that? Is it something we can transfer to this? Can we not? It's something I just really enjoy.
Well, it's good. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it is
That's
fun.
fun when you talk about it. I don't know that I think it's very much fun, but
I don't think anyone really thinks it's fun except me and my team. We make it fun, and we make it like, that's why I created this company. I wanted to have a job that didn't feel like a job. I mean, it's hard some days, obviously.
Mhm.
We're balancing a lot. We have a lot of clients. We are always changing something. And really, it's more like internal process. I think running a company, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
But for us, it's fun. It's something that I have severe ADD and ADHD. So having a job that's constantly changing is so good for me
That
because
keeps you engaged. Yeah.
keeps me engaged. I don't get bored. Something's always changing, evolving. I'm always learning. I like that style. For someone who wants day in and day out the same thing, you probably should be an accountant or something that's not like a if you're like a true creative, you would love this. And that's why so many people are moving into marketing, I think, because it is such like innovative, fun, and like just different kind of market.
Yeah. So if people want to learn more about you or want to talk to you or find you or see your social media, where do they find you?
Yeah, so at Happy Brands Co. on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then I have my website, which is thehappybrands.co. But that is it. Yeah. And I obviously, if anyone has questions or if they are interested in just learning more, or even just want to do a consult with me, like, Steph, I don't know what the hell to do. Like, where do I start with this? Or can you tell me more about influencer marketing? You can also email me at Poulin, my last name, at thehappybrands.co, which is also in my contact on my website. And I will be releasing some, I'm actually partnering with SUNY Adirondack and going to be releasing a course on influencer marketing in the fall. So
Nice.
if anyone's interested in that, they can also, sign up or let me know when they want to sign up for that. But it's a passion of mine. It's a very evolving market right now, and it's very, very hot. And I think this is like the perfect time for any brand to get involved in it.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on the class, and
Thank you.
thanks for coming on. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Always nice to catch up with you and hear what you got going on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it. And, I'm just grateful to be here and happy to help anyone out when it comes to social media.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
SkyZone Trampoline Park in Queensbury, New York. Elevate the way you celebrate at the best kids' birthday party place near you. We take care of all the hassle with planning birthday parties so you and your kids can focus on having fun. Check out our birthday party packages including private party areas, party invitations, supplies, a party host, and more. Come to SkyZone Queensbury.
The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local.